Alright, so here are all the prefixes for the base units of the metric system. Remember, we do not use that customary system that we've been talking about, or you've been talking about your whole life. We're going to use the metric system. And part of knowing the metric system is also knowing not only its base units, which you took in the foldable notes, but also its prefixes to know how big that or how small that base is. So I just would like to draw attention. We start with the kilo. And kilo is the biggest prefix that you'll be learning. There are bigger ones out there, such as mega. But kilo is what we're going to be focusing on. And in addition to knowing what the prefix is, you have to know its symbol and what it means. Kilo means 1,000. Then you move into hecto. Its symbol's H. It means 100. Deca. Its symbol's DA. This is the only one with 2 letters, and it means 10. The example I like to give with deca is in a decade, which has the prefix deca in it, there are 10 years. So decade has 10 years, deca means 10. Then our next step is the base unit. The ones we'll be focusing on are grams, liters, and meters. Remember, grams is mass, liters is volumes, meters is length. And now, in their general meaning, so to speak, their number is number 1. And then their symbols for grams, it would be G, liters, it would be a capital L, and meters, it would be a lowercase m. So then we get into deci, which is smaller than 1, and that means 1/10, and it only has the letter D as its symbol. There were 2 D's, which is why deca got DA and deci just got D. Then we move down to centi, which means 1/100th or 0.01, and its symbol C. And most of you are familiar with the centimeter. And then we have milli. Symbol is M, and it means 1/1000. And something with centi and milli, a century has 100 years in it, and each year is 1 out of 100 years. A millennium has the prefix milli in it, and each year in a millennium is 1 out of 1,000 years. So that helps me at least kind of remember what the meaning of each prefix is. And to help you remember the order of them, there's a little mnemonic device you can use. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. So king is the kilo, Henry's the hecto, died is the deca, unexpectedly is your base unit, meters, liters, grams. Drinking is your deci, chocolate's your centi, and milk is your milli. So that's to help you remember the order of them as we get into converting between, let's say, a kilometer and a millimeter. You might have to do that. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk will help you remember that. So now we come to that sheet that I had you glue in called Steps Converting Metric Measurements. So let's start with this one right here. Get number 1. So, your first question, am I going from bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger? We look at our stair steps. If it's at the top of the stairs, it's going to be bigger. At the bottom of the stairs, it's going to be smaller. So we start at milli, and then we're going to liter, which is a base unit. So we're going from smaller to bigger. Which brings us to our next question, will I go upstairs or downstairs? Well, to get to milli to liters, I have to go upstairs. How many stairs will I go up or down? Well, let's see. We go up 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we just went up 3 stairs, and when we went up those stairs, we moved to the left. So now looking at this number here. Our decimal point's at the end of the number because there's not a decimal point already written in it. So we assume it's at the end of the number. And when we went through our stairs, we went up 3 steps to the left. So same thing here. You're going to go 3 spaces, units to the left. 1, 2, 3. Then you draw your new decimal point. So 10,000 milliliters equals 10 liters. And you don't have to write the 0.000 unless you really want to, but I'm not going to require that. So let's try one where we're going from bigger to smaller. Let's try this one. 2 kilograms equals how many grams? So the first question, are we going from bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger? Kilos at the very top, so that's as big as it's going to get for this class. Grams is in the middle, it's a base unit. So we're going from bigger to smaller. Then we ask, are we going upstairs or downstairs? Well, since we're going bigger to smaller, we have to go downstairs. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3. Now when you go downstairs, you move to the right to go downstairs in this picture. So same thing here. Draw in your decimal point. We're going to move right 3 spaces, as many stairs as we moved. Draw your new decimal point. Now, each one of these dips has a 0 in it now. So 2 kilograms equals 2,000 grams. Let's do one more example. We'll do this one down here. 9 centimeters equals how many decameters? So ask yourself that first question. Am I going from bigger to smaller or smaller to bigger? Centi's here. Deca's here. We're going to go smaller to bigger. So that means we're going to go upstairs 1, 2, 3 spaces. When we go upstairs, we're going to the left, so same thing goes here. Draw your decimal point at the end of the number. We're going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3. Draw your new decimal point and put zeros in those dips. So we have 0.009. And I do prefer that you draw the 0 before the decimal point. It just helps me when I'm grading it to visually see what number you wrote. And always make the decimal point super pronounced. Okay, well that's all the examples I'm going to give you. In class, we will do some more work where you're working on your own. And if this is still confusing, I'll be there to help you. So have a great night.